Welcome to the second anniversary online Spiritual Cartel convention. On Thursdays, the group look at a different spiritual principle each week. A different speaker takes us through their experience of that particular principle. Today, it is with great pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Theresa F., who will share with us on all the 12 principles for 45 minutes. Theresa, over to you.
Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone you're in. Hello. Thank you for having me. Happy anniversary. Thank you for those who shared before me and all of who's going to be powerhouses coming afterwards. Okay, I got a few minutes. So, the beautiful thing is the flow, right? So I already had somebody go over our steps, our traditions, and hopefully I can put it all in a beautiful package, a nice little bow. And I'm glad you put that up so I don't have to explain what are these principles, where they come from. Is that the whole list? No, there's different ones. Not even sure where the heck it came from. Not that I'm not sure, but that's a whole other class within itself. So hopefully I can share a little bit about, in step 12, right? Practice these principles in all our affairs. It's like, what do I gain? Did I say my name is Theresa? I'm an alcoholic. I'm an addict. I don't know. I'm so nervous. I'm always nervous and uncomfortable. And I always feel like I won't be able to do it justice. And I have a little bit of sleep. I'm in a different state. My lighting is all jacked up. It's okay. I'm in the hotel trying to have a background. All right. Feel all yellow or brown, whatever. Okay. Oh, Lord. Okay, here we go. Welcome anybody who's new. Please keep coming back. Old timers, thank you for my life. Okay. So as we get a working knowledge of the steps, I have to practice them, right? I have to implement them. I was taught that these are tools designed for living. So they're not homework or they're not exercises. It's fascinating to me. Some people go, I don't think I've gotten the steps enough, or I need to do them over and over again to know them. Self-knowledge serves me nothing. This is a spiritual program of action, right? So I can keep going over and over and over them, but how do I live them? How do I take them out into the world? So these tools that were laid at my feet, I picked them up, and I don't know if it's my arsenal. I visualize like a tool belt, maybe because I like Westerns or guns. Not quite sure why this visual works for me, so you find yours. But I see like putting a tool belt. You know how in the Western movies they walk around with that music? Doo-doo-doo-doo. I think that's the music. And that guy is just so, you know what I mean? How he walks with these guns on each side. And if there's an issue, they take them out, right? That kind of thing. So I visualize the 12 steps of the 12 traditions the same way, right? These tools on my hip belt. John is laughing. And as I'm walking around the town, I get to take them out, you know what I mean? And use them. Like I have to use them. They like, here, take that step. Bam. Take that tradition. Boom. So as I'm going through them, what do I gain? So in each and every one of the steps, I gain something. And there's a flow. It's interesting how one carries me to the next. So in the first step, as you read the list, I gain honesty. Now, we have this impression that I'm just honest. I just admit. No, I actually gained that. Because before that, I was in denial. I rationalized, justified. I was lying. I was making excuses. I was pretending. I was blaming everybody but me. But as a result of working it, I come to a place of admittance. I collect the data. I have enough information that clearly says to me, yeah, you're an alcoholic, uncle. And when that happens, I gain honesty. Now I become honest about all the things I did not want to tell or say or do, even if it's just in the rooms, if it's with myself. I got this little calendar thing all up in okay, this is turning out terrible. Okay, I'm going to leave that alone. So I gain honesty. Now, the honesty that I gain in one brings me to two. So with this virtue, with this principle, I now can go into 2. And when I go into 2, since I'm honest about I can't do anything about this disease called addiction, alcoholism. I can't get rid of it myself. I'm not being honest about. There's no human power that is going to relieve me of this. There is nothing that I can possibly try to do to get rid of it. And that truth, that honesty allows me to step into this, the next step, which is I need to be restored to sanity because clearly I'm Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs. Well, how am I going to do that? I begin to look at you. For all those who said that you have been restored, you're no longer living like that anymore. You're not doing the things that I had just come from doing. And as I'm listening to you, you invite me to consider something, just as Abby invited Bill to consider something, is that there is a power that can. Well, the honesty that I gained in 1 at least helps me to listen to what you're saying in 2. Because it's out of desperation, right? It's out of, I can't do nothing. And you talking about a power that can restore me? Well, I got issues with that. Whether it's coming from religion, whether it's bias, whatever. There's a litany of things I can come up with, including my disease trying to distract me and, take me back to being dishonest about my alcoholism and addiction. But ultimately, I gain by doing step 2, looking at chapter 2, the agnostics, looking at all of my issues, looking at, I came to believe. Not all of a sudden I'm completely enlightened and I know that I'm saying now. No, I come to believe. I came to believe that there is a power that can. And when I surrender to that in 2, I gain hope. I am now hopeful that there is a way out. I'm now hopeful that there is a possibility that just maybe because I can't, you can, this power can, and somehow the darkness and despair of how I've been living, the bondage of whatever that is it possible that it could be different? And so with honesty, now with the hope that I gain in 2, those 2 carry me into 3. I love this thing principle. I do. Now, I don't know if it's because I got nothing else to do but to sit around and think about this kind of stuff. But so they carry me, but I witnessed it. The honesty. Oh, yep. I can't do it. I have hope that something can. Those 2 carry me to 3 because I have hope and I'm honest that I can't. I'm willing to do 3. See, if I'm stuck still thinking I don't have a problem, I'm not getting hope. I'm not being honest. So therefore 3 doesn't even apply. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not even going to do it. But with those 2, I now can go into 3, which you tell me I got to make a decision. Well, what's interesting about making a decision, before 1 and 2, I lost the power of choice. Isn't that something? I couldn't say no. Like that no campaign that Nancy Reagan did, just say no, that didn't help me. That nothing helped. I was trying. I'm hanging out in the dope house. I'm like, no, that's okay. Pass that to me. So that just don't work. But now I get carried into 3 and I have to say this prayer. I have to believe in whatever this power is that you have, whatever I can define it. All I need to know, there is one. It ain't me. I don't have to get into the heavy semantics of thoroughly knowing what this power is. Side note, and I've been saying this mainly because I'm a religious study major. As I told my professor last semester, the truth of the matter is we don't even know, right? Nope, we sure don't. Okay. We really don't, you guys. Stop trying to find the right one. We don't know. And by the time you find out after you die, it won't matter. It won't matter. Anyway. So just go with it, right? Just go with it in any way that you can that can help you to live life better, okay? So just pick one. Just know it ain't you. But then it's interesting because later we'll learn that the power is within me. So is it me? That's another conversation. Okay, nonetheless, those two carry me into 3. And when I make this decision and I do this prayer, and I'm saying, relieve me of the bondage of me, that I now believe that there's a power, it's not me, and I need to find it. I have to tap into some source that lies deep down inside each and every one of us, and I saw it in you. I gain faith. It's fascinating. I gain this faith, because I know in 3, when you do, look, if you've ever been to Dr. Bob's house or you get on your knees with someone, there's this thing that happens, and it's not like the sky opens up, but it's this almost a spiritual certainty of possibility. It's almost like I'm safe, like there's something here that can finally help me, and that I'm willing to pursue whatever that is. And what I gain is this faith. So now honesty, hope, and faith, some people say surrender, faith, surrender, whatever, right? They carry me to the next step. Each one carries me to the next one. And this thing is in the way of my time. I don't know how to get rid of it. Okay, here we go. They carry me into the next one. So with the honesty, with the hope, with the faith, or surrender, whatever you want to call it, either one, but it's just surrendering, whatever. Faith, honesty, hope, and faith bring me to 4. Without them, I'm going to struggle doing 4. Do you follow what I'm saying? It's kind of because if I'm honest about what I suffer from and I have hope that I can recover from it, and I'm putting my faith, my heart, my soul, that prayer says, I believe that it can, and I'm willing to do whatever is necessary to have the experience and the connection, and I have faith in that, then I am going to pick up a pen and paper. I don't even know the inventory thing. I never asked myself those questions. It sounds foreign. It brings up some old stuff of secrecy and going to my grave or thinking things are buried. I love that one. Someone goes, why bring up old bones, things that are buried? I'm like, who told you they were buried? I mean, who told you that? That's another lie. Ain't nothing buried. I've been living my life based on those. And it carries me into doing inventory. And as a result of putting it on paper and being uncomfortable and asking myself things that I hadn't otherwise asked, praying for the people, I thought it was their problem. It turns out I'm the problem. And I get to ask, what do you have to do with that, Theresa? Where are you blocked from the sunlight of the Spirit? Why? Because I have honesty, hope, and faith that I can build a relationship with this power. And in order to do it, I have to uncover what is blocking me from it, and I am going to do it because my life depends on it. And I do it. And I see resentments, I see fears, I see sex conduct, and I witness that, and I put it on paper, and I examine it, and I gather all of this data of how I'm blocked. And not because I'm incompetent, not because I have no moral compass or value. Many of us were raised with morals. Not because I just want to be a horrible person. Because I have a spiritual illness that has to be treated with a spiritual remedy. I discovered that in 1 and 2. And 3 is why I made the decision. And I truly believe, I continue to believe that what it says to me is completely understandable, Theresa, that you have resentment. Some of them are quite valid, whether it's fancy or real. It's understandable that you have fear, and it's understandable about your sex conduct. In the 12 and 12, it talks about a lot of these are our basic survival instinct, personal companionship, stability, sexual instinct. These are normal. That is not the issue. The issue is how you have been going about solving it. Is not working. You have to quit playing God. It don't work. Well, I made a decision on 3 to find this power. And what God was I pretending to be anyway? That's a whole other class within itself. Like, I'm just saying, I'm playing God. What kind of God are we talking about? You know what I mean? Using people, lying, cheating. That's a funny kind of God. Anyway, okay. So those carry me into 5. So what do I gain in 4? I gain courage. Because as a result, I'm seeing, I gain courage to to be better, to do better, to connect further with this power that I'm revealing that all of my actions, choices, and decisions are blocking me, and I have all the evidence on paper. And so now honesty, hope, faith, courage, and we have with Cocaine Anonymous, hope, faith, and courage. You see in the book, you get it? How they did? Anyway, all right, isn't that cute? Okay, so those carry me to 5. So I have the courage to even sit across somebody now and to tell them my wrongs, to tell them where I'm at fault. It says, talk about your wrongs, not your rights. Today, when I go to share, do a 5th, I don't even have to spend time on 1, 2, and 3. Really, I'm coming to tell you where I'm wrong. I've been selfish. I'm self-seeking. I'm dishonest. I'm afraid. I got to just tell on myself. They used to say, tell the truth and shame the devil or something like that, right? I just have to now but how can I be honest to somebody? I can, because I gained it in 1. And I have hope. I have hope that when I share this with you and be transparent with you, with me, and with this power, that it strengthens my faith. And 4 gave me the courage to do it, because when you look at it, you're like, hot diggity dog, I can't wait to tell somebody to get rid of this mess. And if you're really worried about what you're saying, getting out, you can go to a priest, you can go to a therapist, somebody that's confidentiality. Truth be told, I'm sharing stuff with other addicts that are hot and messy. You think I'm worried about telling a hoe who's been in jail, you know what I mean, and living off the streets what I got to say? Really, people? Seriously? They're a hot mess. I'm going to tell them whatever. Some of their stories are worse than mine. And if anybody's ever seen Eminem, I think that's the name of the movie. There's this powerful thing in there that he ends up telling on himself. And when he did that, it's a rap battle or something. And when he did it, the other person had no ammunition to take him out. And so like there's this power that happens that when I tell you. So if I'm worried about you telling somebody, I'll be like, I told you that. So if you're worried about somebody going, hey, Theresa's a hoe, I'm like, I'm the one that told them. So what? And as a result of stepping into this experience with someone, with the honesty, with the hope, with the faith, with the courage, what I gain is integrity. And I gain that. There's this sense of integrity. What happens is this transparency and truth that I get to speak candidly and openly. I become transparent. And the integrity that I gain from doing that. So now, with that, along with the integrity that I just got in 5, they take me to 6. 6 entirely ready? How in the heck do you think we're supposed to become entirely ready? Just to be entirely ready? Look, if I had all these things, I don't need to be here on a Saturday. I think it's Saturday. I just flew in from California, no sleep for 2 days. Last night, got here. And I think I'm in Idaho, but I came into Washington with a bunch of people for dinner, right? I came all the way, how many hours to share at a dinner and then doing a workshop, and then I'm going home. I have class, I have home. Why would I do that if I didn't need to do it? Do you understand what I'm saying? Why? If I had the capacity to go, Theresa, you just need to be a little bit more honest, change your behavior, attitude adjustment, right? That's inappropriate. I don't need to do all this. When I turned on this thing, it was still dark outside, wondering why did I turn on the computer? I want to go back to bed. Anyway, so what ends up happening as a result of talking to somebody, and the integrity and the courage and the faith and the hope and the honesty allows me to see these defects of character. How can I admit that I'm entirely ready if I don't have honesty? How can I be willing to get rid of them if I don't have hope that if I can, things will be better? I could be free from alcoholism and addiction. That I have faith that I'm willing to be entirely ready, because I have faith that if I am, then I can be restored, I can be transformed, and I have the courage to do the uncomfortable until it becomes comfortable. And the integrity enough to say it out loud and to be clear that these defects are standing in the way of everything in my life and you and this power. And what I gain from looking at the list, what I gain from all of this, seeing that these defects are standing in the way and that I can no longer operate from that place, whatever fake imposter God suit that I have on, it causes nothing but harm and destruction and suffering and pain. And it's all of my alcoholism that is centered in my thinking that robs me of my authentic self. And in looking at this list, sharing them maybe with my sponsor or them helping me put the list together, what do I gain when I take step 6? Yes, I'm entirely ready. Uncle, take it. I can't wish it away, just like I couldn't wish away my alcoholism and my addiction. I gain willingness. I don't think I'm going to be white as snow. But I can see that they no longer serve a purpose. And some of them maybe I think I need to hold on to them because I'm a survivor and they protect me. And I'm still getting to know this power. And it tells me, just don't say never. Just say, I am what? Willing. And that's what I gain. And with the integrity, with the courage, with the hope, with the faith, I now gain willingness. It carries me to 7. Because when I get to 7, I'm saying, take all of me, good and bad. Just take it from me. I need to be willing to do that. And way before 1, I wasn't willing to do nothing but go get another hit. You know what I'm saying? If there was any kind of willingness. And I don't even think I had willingness. It was it was gearing me. I was a puppet with the strings being pulled. But now I have willingness. Yes, get rid of that. Take it. I don't like any of it. And I do the 7-step prayer, which always fascinates me because I have this list of things that are objectionable, things that I don't like. I admit that I don't have the power to get rid of them. I within myself don't have the power to change me. I'm willing to have this relationship with this power now. I want to get to know this power and let it transform and get rid of all this stuff in me that I don't like. I go into 7, and 7 reminds me that I don't have the power. 7 reminds me that there is a power that is all-knowing. Why is that? Because in that prayer, I say, take all of me, good and bad. What happened to my list? I always say that. Yo, what happened to the list? I thought I was going to come to the power like I did fear, right? And say, please remove my fear of. You think that in 7, I'll be like, please take away my self-righteousness. That's thinking you know something, Theresa. You don't know what's best for you. So I literally have to surrender everything. But how am I going to surrender it if I didn't gain faith? It's fascinating. They're all interwoven, these spiritual principles, these spiritual tools that are character building. They're actually character building. And now I'm armed not only with facts of myself, I'm armed with these spiritual principles that as I start gaining, as I move along. And then I go into 7 and I have this experience where I say, just take everything that stands in the way. Just, you know what's best. Whatever doesn't make me useful. Because I always say this, if you get rid of selfishness altogether, why would I keep pursuing recovery? Somehow I have to be selfish about that. Or completely honest. Anybody ever seen the movie with Jim Carrey, Liar, Liar? He had a terrible time in that movie. It's like sometimes you need to like not tell the truth. I always say it to the guys. I know it's biased, but could you imagine if God took away completely husbands? I want you to think about this. If God took away dishonesty altogether, and your wife comes to you after 40 years or whatever, what the heck? Don't even matter. She comes to you and she say, honey, do you think I look fat in this dress? Do you like your secretary better than you like me? You better hope God gives you dishonesty. You know what I mean? If you don't believe that, honey, that you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. You never look better. Anything you put on is fabulous. I'm just saying, based on my own experience, you look fabulous. Anyway, so if I had no dishonesty, that would be a bad situation. So That's why I have to say to the power, you take away whatever is not going to help anybody. Okay? That's all I'm saying. And as a result of doing that, I gain humility. Because in 7, I become humble. I'm humbled by that. By recognizing that I can't get rid of all of this, and I don't even have the ability to discern what's the best and what's good and what isn't. The prayer within itself is saying, I'm humbling myself to you. So I gain humility. So now I have humility, willingness, integrity, courage, faith, hope, honesty. All of that carries me to 8 in order for me to make a list. I am humble to make a list. If I am not humble, I'm not making a list. You see, when I did my inventory, I wrote a hit list. So if you're new, stop tripping on inventory. Start out by just making a hit list. Maybe because I come from mafia, I know what a hit list is. And a hit list is you write down all the people that you want to, you know what I mean? That you want them to take off the face of the earth. Okay? And so now, when I come in to make my amends list, it's different from the hit list, okay? The list that I'm now putting together, I am now humble and honest. Thank God that I didn't give my list to my family. To this day, my family's like, is anybody messing with you out there in California? And I'm like, they are, but I can't give you the list. I have to pray for them and talk to my sponsor. Oh my God, I wish I could give them my inventory list. Okay, so, sometimes I wish I can give them the list. Now I have a different list. And the list is not out to take it, wipe everybody out that I think made transgressions against me. This list that I am now humbled to see, that I am a participant. I am the one that perhaps caused, I'm going to say perhaps still, caused the most harm. And I put this list together, the people that I'm going to make amends to take ownership to clean up my side of the street. And why am I willing to clean up my side of the street? Because I have the courage to do it. I have integrity. I can speak it. I can say it. I can actually admit it. And I have the faith. I have the faith that if I do, I will be restored. I'll be transformed. I'll have a connection with this power. And I can be honest, I have hope. So you don't see how much stuff I've gained in order to come into 8. That's why they go in order. That's why they have a rhythm. It's like music. It's scientific. It's a scientific. I think I look at it like the 12 steps, like this musical orchestra. I don't know. It's so pretty. It's so pretty the way it flows. And then I come into 8 and I write this list. And all the people that I need to make amends to that I discovered in my inventory, and what I gain when I have this list, they say brotherly love, because now all of a sudden I'm experiencing compassion, not self-pity, pity and mutilation. Like if I get to this, I'm a horrible person, then I need to go back and take a look at my powerlessness in 1. I tell people, if you struggle with doing your list, you need to go back to 1 so that I can gain these principles. By the time I come to 8, I am a spiritually sick person and I'm pursuing a spiritual remedy. You put down the baseball bat a long time ago. And I gain brotherly love because I can see. And I love these people. And it is not fair of what my disease have manifested itself. And I get to take ownership in that and willing to clean that up. And then I go into 9. And to me, I really get to see, we talk about the principles in 9. I mean, the promises. But what happened, I was fascinated. Even the first time I went all the way back to New York, with my little index cards to make my amends to everybody. And I said, this program really works. I could see these principles manifesting themselves, because how can I knock on doors, sitting across someone, look them in the eye and read my index card and tell them bullet points, all the harm that I've caused you, and say, I'm willing to rectify this, and ask them, is anything I can do if I didn't have honesty, hope, faith, courage, integrity, willingness, and humility, and brotherly love? I wouldn't be able to do it. Isn't that something? I wouldn't be able to do it. I watch myself be honest. That's wild. Because what I discovered, people say I was a liar, cheater, you know what I mean? I was blind, and the next thing you know, I'm telling the truth. What? And for me, most of the people that I believe harm me. And I have brotherly love. I have this compassion and empathy for them. I love that. And with the brotherly love, now I gain, right, that brotherly love. I go into 9, I knock on these doors. And when my experience with 9, the principle that I gain is discipline. This practice of going out there and implementing the previous principles in my life and taking ownership and cleaning up. And man, it took willingness to encourage to do that. And I gained this discipline because we say this program works. What works? Cleaning house and trusting in God and taking ownership. Do you know what I'm saying? What? Wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. If I had that experience, what do you think? I'm done? I have to implement them. I have to begin living in that now. Because now I can look at the man in the eye. I'm standing up taller. I know that my creator is front and center. Each time I did my amends, I felt that. I was like, I know there's a God. I walked away from that situation without the dark cloud over my head. Freedom. And with the discipline in 9, it carries me to 10. 10, I gain perseverance because I'm constantly watching. I become the observer. I've entered the world of spirit. I now have a brain to use. The problem of drinking has been removed, or using has been removed. What? I'm in a place of neutrality, safe and protected. And I experience in 10, if I'm constantly with the perseverance, right? That the discipline that I gain in the previous step, and the brotherly love, and the humility, and the willingness, and the integrity, and the courage, and the hope, and the faith, and the honesty, I continue to persevere. I keep wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. I keep doing it. Now once a year, I was telling my sponsors that, could you imagine that you wait to do an inventory once a year? That'd be a hot mess. You spend all year just making a ruckus, not paying attention, just causing harm all over the place. Ain't calling on God, ain't cleaning house, ain't looking at yourself. And then you go sit down to do an inventory and you realize the damage. We did that before we got sober. Constantly doing it. And what I gain in 10, the perseverance in 10, carries me to 11. And I go into prayer and meditation. Why? Because I now have a contact with a power that I saw manifest and transform and change. I have the awareness. I could see it. I could see what this power has done. And I want to build a greater awareness. It says conscious contact. That means I am consciously aware that there exists one. I've seen it. I've seen what it's been doing, not only for you, where I had gotten the hope in 2, I now see it in me. And like any relationship, I want to develop it. I want to expand upon it. I want to enlarge it. I want to preserve it. I want to honor it. And in the practice of prayer, meditation, of talking, of sitting, of getting quiet, developing intuition, this internal GPS, they say, let go and let God. God could and would if he was sought. I can't, but God can. Well, how am I supposed to know God's direction and guidance? I need to learn how to hear. I gotta learn how to go inward, be still, know that God is, but how do I hear? I said, if you know how to talk to God, can you tell me how you hear it? I need to be able to hear, go left, go right, just like a GPS. Talk to her, talk to him. What do I do with this? Be still. What do I do with this? This is what you do with it. I get intuition and inspiration. And I have to run it past somebody. Why do I run it past somebody? Because I learned earlier on when I did step 5, I got integrity. I can call someone, my sponsor, and go, hey, I think I just saw a burning bush and it was talking to me. Was it a burning bush? You know what I'm saying? Doesn't say we're going to make obscure mistakes along the way. I love when people say, God told me, didn't he? If you have a direct line, can you ask him some questions? I have anyway. There's some things I want to know. And what do I gain in 11? I gain awareness. I have an awareness now. I can hear, I can see. I come to know and understand. And in 11 through prayer meditation, I gain awareness. I now can hear and see and know. And the greatest gift of sobriety is awareness. I can see me. I'm the observer. I can see. It's so powerful. And with the awareness, perseverance, discipline, brotherly love, humility, willingness, integrity, courage, faith, hope, honesty, all those spiritual principles that I gain in these steps, it takes me to where? Now, here is a person who has all these spiritual principles. So I can sit around and go, I got spiritual principles, y'all. So I can go help other people. And it carries me to 12. Because I'm like, what am I going to do with all this spiritual enlightenment? What am I going to do with all of this? Sit around and do nothing? No, you're going to go help my children. You're going to go sit around and help other people and let them know like they let you know. It's amazing. Sometimes I talk to people like, hey, you working with others? You going to meetings? You have commitments? You picking up newcomers or just talking to them? Oh no, my life is full. I'm really busy. Is that right? Well, could you imagine that when you came in the rooms, nobody was there because everybody was busy? That's not what we get these for. So that we can go be of service and take all this abundance of spiritual principle into all of my affairs, my family, my job, my neighborhood, the new people, the rooms. And as a result of being of service, we say being of service, but where you gain service is in 12. It's where you gain the thing of service. Or they can also say charity, where one alcoholic, one addict talking to another. Being on here, running meetings and marathons all day long. I gain the gift of service. So I tell people, if you're looking for a principle, look at the steps. There's also conversations about the traditions. Turn to them. If I need honesty, I turn to one. If I find myself being dishonest about everything that I am and what I'm doing in my life, this is I'm the cause of my own problems, right? The disease is centered in my thinking. Well, then I go to one. People say I'm powerless over people, places, and things. No, I'm powerless over my alcoholism and my addiction. That tells me I have power over people, places, and things. And so I go to one. So I can do what? Get honest about that. Girl, you ain't running nothing. That's your disease telling you you're running something. And then I run to two. Now I want to share with you in the next few minutes. I have a grand sponsee. She hates this part when I go through these principles. She'd be like, you're going to make me fall all the way down the stairs. I don't like it, Granny. But this is my first time in the program. If you knew, there are those of us who have come and stay. They say 50% who really try. I have yet to go out, which means I'm eligible too. But here are those who have gone out. Perhaps you can take your own experience for this to be true. I'm only going by what I've seen in those who have, because I learned from people in the rooms what to be like and what not to be like. And everybody's my teacher. And those of you who have come back to tell us is no longer working, we learned from you too. So your story is very important. But here is what I've observed. And here is what our literature tells me. There's many things in the literature that tells me how to recover and also tells me how I can go out. Right? And so this is what I've seen happens in the opposite effect of the steps when we stop doing them. So what usually happens is I stop going to meetings, talking to newcomers. I stop reaching my hand out to be of service to other people. I don't answer the phone anymore. My life is full. It's really busy. All the beautiful rewards that I've gotten from Cocaine Anonymous. I'm living large. What ends up happening? I stop losing the spirit of service and charity. And then after that, because I don't have the spirit of service, the principle of service, what's interesting is what ends up happening is I'm no longer paying attention to me. I'm no longer going into prayer and meditation. Why? I don't have time. My schedule is full. I'm not sure why I need to do all that. As a matter of fact, I don't like it. It's a waste of time. I'm not doing it. I'm not even listening to anybody because I'm not going to the rooms anymore to hear the importance of having a relationship with a power through prayer and meditation. So what starts happening? I no longer have awareness. I don't have the internal GPS. I start listening to my head. I start trusting in whatever I think or ego to be true. And I'm navigating through life now based on ego and self. And it sounds like me. It makes sense. I may tell myself it's God, but I don't know. I didn't even go into prayer and meditation. I'm not going to do any service, so I'm not reminded of it. So I lose awareness and I become more self-consumed. And then as a result of losing awareness, there's no need to continue to wash, rinse, and repeat and do any level of personal inventory or paying attention. I'm too busy. There's no time for all that. I'm more focused and consumed with what I think needs to get done. So I start losing the perseverance of wash, rinse, repeat. I'm not doing that anymore. So now I lose perseverance. See, the steps, these principles can go backwards. And I lose the perseverance of continuously doing this, going to meetings, cleaning house, trusting in God, being of service. That's not happening anymore. And then what ends up happening? I'm not making amends. I'm not going knocking on doors. I'm not talking to anybody. Why? It's your fault. It's not mine. And what do I lose? Discipline. The discipline that I gained from these steps I no longer have. I become lax. I become comfortable. I don't even see it. The disease is cunning, baffling, and powerful. I don't even notice it. And now I no longer have these disciplines of a spiritual practice. And then as a result, I become bitter, frustrated, angry with other people. It's their fault. I look at what's wrong with them. What do I lose that I gained in 8? Brotherly love. I don't have compassion. I don't have empathy. I'm not thinking about you no more. I'm thinking about me. I lose brotherly love. When I lose brotherly love, I then lose humility, because in 7, I had to be humble to see my defects of character. I'm not looking at them anymore. I'm looking at yours. I'm no longer humble. I am arrogant. I am egotistical. I am self-righteous and judgmental. Deep stuff, yo. The spiritual axiom. You know what I mean? It like switches up on me. So now I'm no longer humble. I am arrogant. And when I am arrogant and I think I'm all that in a bag of chips, then I lose what I gain in 6. I don't see my defects of character. Therefore, I am no longer willing to do anything about anything. I'm not willing to be entirely ready to do nothing. And then when I'm no longer willing to look at me and to do what's necessary, then what ends up happening? It's so crazy. I lose integrity. I lose integrity that I'm not going doing no 5th step. I ain't talking to nobody about nothing. This is my business. I don't need to talk about nothing. Mind your business. I don't like those people anyway. Those people are a hot mess. Why am I going to talk to her about my business? You know what I mean? She worse than me. Remember how before you worse than me? I don't mind telling you. Now I ain't telling you. You a hot mess. Everybody up in here is a mess. I don't like those people in that meeting anyway. Ain't nobody like me. I don't like them. So I lose the integrity in 5. When I lose the integrity that I could have gained in 5, it goes backwards. I have now lost service, awareness, perseverance, discipline, brotherly love, humility, willingness, integrity. I am now terrified. I am afraid. I'm afraid of me. I'm afraid of you. I'm as sick as my secrets. I don't tell anybody. I don't do anything. And I lose courage that I gained in 4. I'm not doing no inventory. I'm not picking up no pen and paper. Ain't nothing to pick up and talk about. I'm not talking about anything to anybody, nor am I looking anymore. And now that I don't have courage, I've lost it, I'm fearful, I'm engulfed, an evil corroding thread that runs through the fabric of the existence of my life, driven by selfishness, self-centeredness. I am not looking, I am unaware, cunning, baffling, powerful. Unbeknownst to me, I now lose faith. I have faith in you. I don't have faith in me. I don't have faith in this program. My head is telling me I don't even have a problem. This is not an issue. I don't need these people. I don't need to be here. And it just happens. It's just happening in full. It's a trip. I just see it. You could see it. We could see it, but I can't see no more. I lose faith. And when I lose the faith, I definitely become hopeless, state of mind and body. Insanity returns and we drink and use again. By the time I've lost all hope, all bets are off. Ask anybody who's gone through this and relapsed. Even in the rooms. And then what happens when I've lost? Insanity has returned. Then what happens, folks? We get loaded again. And I definitely have lost what I gained, the principle in 1, honesty. I become completely dishonest. I ain't got no problem. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I ain't no alcoholic. I ain't no addict. I'm good. And I'm at a bar and a dope house wondering what the hell happened. So the steps go both ways, folks. So I'm just saying, if you need a principle, reach for these tools designed for living, apply them, you will gain them. Whatever you think you need, look at the step and say, I need integrity. Let me reach for that step to gain them. And I think they work that way. I don't know if this is my experience or an opinion, but I think it's pretty powerful, these tools, these spiritual tools. So thank you again, those who shared before me, and I'm excited to hear the rest of the day until I gotta go share tonight. Love you.